Act 3, Scene 1. A public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, and men. So before we start, I'm just going to explain quickly what happens in the scene. So we're going to have Benvolio and Mercutio. They're both pumped to get revenge because they feel like Tybalt disgraced them by sending a letter to Romeo. Mercutio wants to battle Tybalt. He wants to actually brawl, versus Benvolio is trying to calm everyone down. He's being sensible here. Mercutio and Benvolio are going to interfere, and actually Tybalt's going to show up with his servant, and they're going to start fighting. So there's going to be a bit of a brawl, and then Romeo is going to arrive, and Romeo is going to try to stop them. But as he tries to stop them, he's going to grab Mercutio, and Mercutio is going to get stabbed as Romeo tries to stop him. So that's the first part of the scene. We'll also see what happens with the rest of the scene later on. But that's the first part, okay? Sounds good?
Yep.
All right. Act 3, Scene 1, a public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, and men.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now, these hot days, is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And what too?
Nay, if there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of yolk. Thou hast quarreled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for tying his new shoes with an old riband, and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling?
If I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man could buy the mortgage of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple, oh simple.
Enter Tybalt and others.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good day. A word with one of you?
And but one word with one of us. Couple it with something, make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to do that, sir, if you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consort? What dost thou make us minstrels? If thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Hear my fiddlestick, here's that shall make you dance. Sounds consort.
We'll talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure.
Enter Romeo. Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he were your livery. Marry, go before to field. He'll be your follower, your worship. In that sense, may call him man.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the apparent rage to such greeting. Villain I am none, therefore farewell, I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and drop.
I do protest I'd never injure thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt not know the reason of my love, O so good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine now, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission. Alas, Stoccata carries it away.
Mercutio draws his sword.
Tybalt, your rat catcher will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives. That I mean to make bold withal. And as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you! Tybalt draws his sword.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
They fight. Tink, 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 tink.
Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressively half forbid the band dying in Verona streets. Hold Tybalt, good Mercutio.
Tybalt, under Romeo's arms, thrusts into Mercutio and flies with his followers.
I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I am dead. Is he gone and has no injury?
Why art thou hurt?
I, a scratch, a scratch. Mary, this enough? Where's my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon.
Exit page.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough, 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warn you this world. A plague on both your houses. Down the dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch me in death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I fought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague on both your houses. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
So, exit supported by Benvolio. Here, a plague on both your houses is essentially like a curse. It's like, damn you, to a certain degree. Mercutio got hit. Tybalt fled afterwards. Romeo had caught Mercutio to try to stop them, and it's during that trying to stop them that Mercutio was restricted by Romeo, and therefore Tybalt was able to stab. So he's blaming Romeo. Why did you stop me? Why did you do this? Why are you not being a man, essentially, for all of this? You'll see that this excuse is coming up later on. So a man does not stop a brawl, essentially. That's the whole stereotype. That's what's happening here. And he's blaming Romeo for his stabbing. So exit supported by Benvolio.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got this mortal hurt in my behalf, my reputation stained. Why Tybalt slander? Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate.
Effeminate means like you removed my masculinity.
Okay. And in my temper softened valor's steel.
Enter Benvolio.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio, dead.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Yes. So it was a fatal wound. Mercutio is now dead.
Here comes the furious Tybalt again.
So Romeo, it's you now, and you're like enraged. You just learned that your friend is dead, and you feel responsible, but you've got like, you're angry. You're angry with yourself. You're angry with Tybalt. Here, one of your best friend is now dead. So you're reading this with rage, and as Tybalt comes back, you're going to be like, you, and then you're going to go and fight with him.
Okay. Alive in triumph and Mercutio slain, away to heaven respectable alliances and fire-eyed fury may be conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again, that late thou givest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for fine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy, that didn't consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
They fight. Tybalt falls dead.
Romeo, away! Begone! The citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death. If thou art taken, hence, begone, away!
Oh, I'm a fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Exit Romeo. Enter citizens.
Which
Page
way
42.
ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt that murdered, which way he ran?
There lies Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee with the prince's name, obey.
Enter Prince, attended, Old Montague, Capulet, their wives, and others. So essentially what's going on now, Tybalt is dead, and people are gathering. Now there's like been that cry, like someone's been stabbed. Benvolio is staying because he was a witness. Romeo has fled. And now the prince is like, don't forget, the head of the state. So he's the political leader of the whole of Verona at this time. And he's going to be essentially the judge over all of this.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all, the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man, slain by young Romeo, that slew my kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin, O my brother's child, O prince, O husband, O the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague. O cousin, cousin!
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt here, slain whom Romeo hand did stay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how slight the quarrel was, and reminded them of your displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm down, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with unruly spleen. O Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who, all as hot, turns deadly point to point. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twists them, rushes underneath whose arm, an envious thrust from Tybalt's hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled, but by and come by back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain, and as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in the black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which didst thou, Prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the prince of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes, but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your haste proceeding. My blood for your rude brawl doth lie bleeding. But I'll show you justice was so strong a fine, that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo fly in haste, else where he's found that hour is the last. Oh, hast? Oops. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Excellent. So, for killing Tybalt, Romeo is banished. He must now leave and be exiled from Verona forever. That's his, because it was self-defense to a certain degree, but not really, because he's avenging. Rather than being killed himself, he is banished, or banished, as they pronounce it back then. So banished, he can never come back to Verona. Scene 2. So, what will happen then? We've got Juliet and the nurse. Juliet is awaiting, don't forget, she knows nothing of this. She's waiting for Romeo. She's waiting for him to, they just got married, so now she's expecting him to come and climb all the way up to her balcony, and they're gonna spend the night after their wedding. So that's what she's all excited, and then she's gonna see the nurse, and she's like, oh, nurse, maybe you got news of Romeo. What's going on with Romeo? Is he coming to me? And then the nurse will essentially like say that he's dead. Like he's dead, he's dead. And Juliet's gonna be like, who's dead? Romeo's dead? She's gonna get a bit confused, but then finally figure out that Tybalt is dead and that Romeo has been banished. And then she's gonna take the news terribly. So we need the nurse and we need Juliet. Scene 2. Capulet's orchard. Enter Juliet alone.
Come night, come Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, wither than new snow upon a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black broad night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, him and cut him out in little star, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night, and pay no worship to the garnished sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. So tendest in this day, as is the night before some festival. Patient child that had new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse.
Enter nurse.
What news? Why does thou wring the hands?
Ah, where are they? He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. We are undone, lady. We are undone. I lack the day. He's done. He's gone. He's killed. He's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can. Heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Whoever would have thought it, Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus?
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. Here on his manly breast, a bloody, piteous corpse, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood.
Oh, break my heart. Oh, Romeo.
So essentially now, Juliet is thinking that the nurse is saying that Romeo died. So she's like, oh, break my heart. Oh, Romeo. Breaks down. But now the nurse will say this.
Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm in this that blows so contrary? In Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin, and my dear lord. Then, dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. Alas the day, it did.
O serpent heart, hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful triumph, angelical, just opposite to what thou justly seemest. A damned saint, an honorable villain. Whatever book contains such vile matter, so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Where is my man? Give me some aquavitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be the tongue. For such a wish he was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Poor Romeo, what tongue shall soothe the name, when I, the 3 hours' wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband.
I'll just stop you there quickly, Genevieve. So Juliet is now having a flip moment. So she's like, oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, Tybalt. But then she's realizing, but wait, Tybalt was about to kill my husband. So I can't mourn Tybalt because if Tybalt didn't die, my husband would be dead. So she's like flipping, like, I can't mourn Tybalt anymore. Instead, I'm going to mourn the fact that my husband is now banished. So she has that flipped moment right now. So back, foolish tears.
Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. My husband lives. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain. And Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Why then should I weep? Some word there was worse than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. Romeo, banished. That one word, banished. His father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound, in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where are my father and mother? Nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corpse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither. Thither. Yeah.
They wash his wounds with tears, mine shall be spent, when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Lead me to my bitter marriage bed. To death, not Romeo, shall I be wed.
Wait in your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. How easily I can guess where he is hidden. Friar Lawrence.
Oh, find him.
Friar Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Excellent. So, how did Juliet take the news?
Not very well.
No. So she's debating right now, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So she's had all these different things in her mind. We'll see, because the decisions and her turmoil is going to be even heavier later on. Now we're going to go to scene 3. We've got Friar Lawrence and Romeo. So that's where Romeo is hiding because he needs to leave, but for now he's just hiding in Friar Lawrence's cell. And he's like tearing his eyes out. He's like weeping. He can't do anything because he's exiled, and being exiled and banished is worse than death because he can never be with Juliet now. Friar Lawrence is going to be like, but travel. There's not just Verona in the world. There's like all this other world that you can now like visit. You can be fine. Don't worry, banished is not that bad. It's a lot better than death. And he's like, no. Don't forget that Romeo and Juliet are not even 20 years old yet, okay? So they're like teenagers. They're about your age. And like they don't have internet. They don't have social media. So like, yeah, try to get in their shoes. Scene 3, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is in love with thee, and thou art wedded to calamity. Calamity.
Yes, it's like trouble. You're wedding to trouble. Okay. Enter Romeo.
Father, what news? What will be my fate? What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips, not body's death, but body's banishment.
Be merciful, say death, for exile hath more terror in his look. Do not say banishment.
Only from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world outside Verona's walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Banished from here is banished from the world. Banishment is death mistermed, saying death is only banishment. Thou cuttest of my head with golden axe, and smilest at the stroke that murders me.
O deadly sin, O rude unthankfulness, thy fault our loss Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath pushed aside the law. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
This torture and not mercy. Heaven is here, where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing lives here in heaven, and may look on her. But Romeo may not. He is banished. There is no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no means of death so cruel and so quick to kill me as the sentence banished. O friar, the damned use the word in hell, howling attends it. How hast thou the heart been a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, a professed my friend to mangle me with the word banished?
Thou fond madman, will you pause and listen?
Why, thou wilt speak against banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word, adversity's sweet milk, philosophy, to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Again with banished. Hang up philosophy. Unless philosophy can make a Juliet move Verona, reverse a prince's doom, it help me not at all, so talk no more.
Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, when wise men have no eyes?
Let me show you the hope in thy condition.
Thou canst not speak of what thou dost not feel. Were thou as young as I, Juliet thy love an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doubting like me, and like me banished, the mightest thou speak, the mightest thou tear thy hair, and fall on the ground as I do now, tilling the measure of unmade grave.
So, nurse is about to come in. Romeo is essentially learning that he's been banished. He sees death as an opportunity now. He does not want to be banished. It's worse than anything else. So he's actually considering death. Friar Lawrence is like, oh my gosh, you're fine. Just go and live somewhere else. It's a lot better than death itself. The nurse is coming in to actually check on Romeo. She wants to let him know that Juliet is thinking of him. She's going to give him the ring, but she's coming in to check on him, essentially. So knock within.
Get up, someone knocks. Who's there? Romeo, arise, arise and hide. Thou wilt be taken. Stay a while, stand up.
Knock.
Run to my study, by and by. God's will, what simpleness is this? I come, I come.
Knocks continue.
Who knocks so hard? What do you want?
Me and you, parents, I come, Lady Juliet. Yes?
Welcome then.
Enter nurse.
Oh, holy friar, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where is Romeo?
There on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress' case, just in her case.
O woeful sympathy, piteous predicament.
Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping. Blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand up, stand. If you be a man, for Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand.
Romeo rises.
Nurse.
Sir, well, that's the end of all.
What of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth not she think me an old murderer, and that I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own? Where is she? How doth she? And what says my hidden lady to her hopeless love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, calls out to Tybalt, then on Romeo's cries, and then falls down again.
As if that name, shot from deadly level of a gun, did murder her, as the name-cursed hand murdered his kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of the anatomy does my name reside? Tell me, so that I can tear it out.
So Romeo draws a dagger. He draws a dagger to actually go and stab himself. Friar Lawrence, you're going to scream. You're going to stop him.
Hold thy desperate hand. Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself, and slay thy lady that in thy lives, by doing damned hate upon thyself? Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit. What ru- what
Rouse.
roused what roused thee, man? Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There, there art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend, and turns it to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings lit light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou pouchest upon thy fortune and thy love. Go get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend to her chamber, go and comfort her. But look that thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back, with 20,100,000 times more joy than the lamentations you have cried tonight. Go before, nurse, commend to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed. Romeo is coming.
Okay. So Friar Lawrence here in this big monologue is saying essentially, what are you doing? You're gonna kill yourself? Come on, be a man. Let's like do this properly. What are you gonna do? Kill yourself like you killed Tybalt? You're gonna now kill your wife out of love. It's not that bad. What you need to do is go and comfort Juliet one last time and then leave before the watch actually comes in. The watch, like the guards stand watch. You need to go to Mantua, which is a place, and exile over there. There, Juliet can maybe come and join you at some point. It's not that bad. Come on, go and do that. That's what he's saying here.
Oh my. Stayed here all the night to hear good
Good counsel.
is my lady will come. Here is a ring she did bid me. A ring she bid me give you. Now
Nurse exits.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Sojourn.
Sojourn is like séjourner, so like go live in.
Okay. Sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and by him send you word from time to time. Of all that changes in your fortunes here, give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It were grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Excellent. So, what's the image of Romeo that we have here?
Sad.
Yeah, definitely. He's sad.
And then he's happy because Juliet still wants to be his wife.
Yeah, Juliet still wants him even though he's murdered someone and he's banished.
He's pretty confused. Like he needs guidance.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's a little
Do you
mental.
agree with what Friar Lawrence is saying? Do you agree that banishment is worse than death, or do you agree that like it's not the end of the world?
So
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Juliet and run away.
So we're gonna do scene 4. Things are gonna get a bit dicey. Things are gonna get a bit complicated. It's in the Capulet's house. Lord Capulet and his wife are talking with Paris, and they're setting up a date essentially for the marriage. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. My daughter, they don't know about Romeo at this point. They don't know that Romeo and Juliet are married. They don't know that they're in love. So he's promising Juliet to Lord Paris, and they're setting up a date. And back then, it's not like we're getting married in a year. It's like this week. Let's do it this week or 2 weeks tops. So whenever Juliet is crying, they think that she's crying because of Tybalt's death. They don't know that it's because she's crying about the whole Romeo banishment. So you need to understand that there's both these ideas happening here. So Lord Capulet, it's a short scene. Okay, good. You're just essentially setting up a date with Lord Paris for the marriage itself.
All right.
Good. You were supposed to get married just a bit earlier, I think, but because Juliet is now mourning, you're pushing the marriage 2 days. 2 days of mourning. That's fair enough. Capulet's house. Enter old Capulet. That's Lord Capulet. His wife and Paris.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unlucky that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour ago.
These times of woe, afraid to tune no woo. Madame, good night. I commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind first thing tomorrow. Tonight she's weighted down with heavy sorrow.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me, nay more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her by my dear son Paris's love, and bid her, mark you me, on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is it?
Monday, my lord.
Monday, haha. Well, Wednesday is too soon. Thursday, let it be on Thursday. Tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you mind this haste? We'll have no great ado, a friend or two. For hark you, Tybalt, being slain so late, it may be though we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. On Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber, ho. Afore me, it is so very, very late, that we may call it early. By and by, good night.
Exit. They all exit. Good for scene 4?
Ready?
They chose a date. It is now Monday, and the marriage will happen on Thursday. That's when the wedding will happen. So, Romeo and Juliet are first seeing each other. Romeo came back from Friar's old cell just to say bye one last time, to let him know that, like, I'm leaving for Mantua. You can come and see me later on. He doesn't know about Lord Paris and the fact that they're going to get married soon. Neither does Juliet. But Juliet is saying bye one last time and just showing how how much grief she has. Enter Romeo and Juliet aloft. At the window.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet early day, near day. It was the nightingale, and not the lark, that sharply roosed from beloved sleep.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn. No night tale. Look, my love, what streaks of light do harshly strain the eastern sky. Night's candles are burnt out, and cruel day will have me leave to live or stay to die.
That is not daylight. I know it. It is some shooting star or mighty fire. To be to thee this night a torch bearer, a light thee on the way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needest not be gone.
Let me be taken, let me be put to death. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, deaf and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is it, my love? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. At once be gone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune. Some say the lark makes sweet divisions. This doth not so, for the divideth us. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and darker woes.
Enter the nurse.
Madam,
Nurse?
your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
She exits.
Then, window, let day in, and let life out.
Farewell, farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
He descends.
Art thou gone so, my lord, my love, my friend? I must hear from thee every day, the hour. For in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years, ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I vow I'll seize on every chance to send my greetings and my longing love to thee.
Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh God, I have an ill-divine soul. Methinks I see thee, now thou art below, as one dead is in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyes fails, or thou lookest pale.
And trust me, love in my eyes, so do you. Bright life will wait till we unite again.
Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle. Thou hast taken my love, be fickled, fortune. For then I hope thou.
So Romeo has exited. There's going to be a lot of emotions here. Juliet is weeping. She's still crying because of Romeo, but everyone thinks it's because of Tybalt. They're not really allowed to know about Romeo. She's not going to tell them about Romeo. But Lady Capulet's going to come in and let her know that, hey, we've chosen a date for you. You're going to be married. Well, at first she's like, you're still weeping for Tybalt. I understand. It's okay. Good news, though. We're going to be married to this Earl, this Paris. And then she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm not ready. Can we push it back? And then she's like, no, we can't. You know what? Have this discussion with your father. And then the father is going to come in. And the father is going to be like, you ungrateful child. We've raised you all this time. We've housed you. We've prepared you for this. We're giving you now this amazing man to marry. And you won't even have him. So Gabby, you're going to be like super ticked off by this. You're going to be like, you're angry. Like, no, you will not refuse this. Essentially, if you refuse to marry Juliet, I'm putting you down in the streets. You're no longer living with us. You're no longer being fed by us. Deal with your own self. That's what he's going to say, essentially. The nurse, Pauline, you're going to be coming to her defense. You'll be like, but she's a child. It's not that bad. So you're going to try to defend her, but Lord Capulet, you're having none of that also. Good. Don't forget Juliet, Geneviève. You're still polite though. This is still like an elderly time, so you're still respecting your parents. You still honor them. So you're trying to like being nice, but Lord Capulet is seeing straight through you. He's like, no, you're not having this. Good. Lady Capulet says within.
Ho, daughter, are you up?
Who is it that calls? It is my lady mother. Why so late awake, or up so early?
Enter Lady Capulet.
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping from your cousin's death? What wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? Even if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling lost.
Well, girl, thou weepest not so much for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That villain Romeo.
Juliet
God.
says aside.
But pardon him, I do, with all my heart. Yet no man grieves my heart as much as him.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Because he's so far from the reach of these my hands. May no hands but mine avenge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. So weep no more, I'll send to one in Mantua, to give him such an unaccustomed dram, that he shall soon keep Tybalt company, and then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Oh, how I hate that I cannot come to him, to break the love I bore my cousin Tybalt, upon his body that had slaughtered him.
But now tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes while in such a needy time.
Well, well, thou hast a careful father child, one who to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy.
Madam, in a happy time? What day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young and noble gentleman, Count Paris, shall at St. Peter's Church happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste, that I must wed the man before he even comes to woo. I pray you tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear I shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father, tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
How now, a rain-spout girl, what still in tears, evermore showering, in one little body? Shall you enact a storm, a sea, a wind? How now have you delivered our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Cloth, take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How? Will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have brought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful for meant as love.
How? Chop logic. What is this? Proud, and I thank you not, and yet not proud. Mistress minion, you. Thank me no thankings, nor proud me not no prouds. You but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee there. Out, you baggage, you tallow face.
Fie, what? Are you mad?
Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church on Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed, that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, hilding?
Sure, I'm not sure of that word actually.
Hilding, yes.
God in heaven, bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady wisdom? Hold your tongue. Good Prudence, smatter with your gossips, go.
I speak no treason.
I said for you to go.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity over a gossip's bowl. But for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
So hot here means angry. And so Capulet, now it's like the summum of it. You're like super angry. This next part is like where you're like letting out all your anger.
This madness makes me mad. Day, night, late, early. At home, abroad, alone, in company. Waking or sleeping, still my care has been to have her matched, and having now provided a gentleman of princely parentage, of fair looks, youthful, nobly educated, proportioned as one's though thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched puling fool, a whining mehmet in her fortune's tender. To answer I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. If you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it. How often do I jest? Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise. If you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. If you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul, I'll never acknowledge thee. I gave my word. I will not be forsworn.
Lord Capulet exits.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, do not make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Thou do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Lady Capulet exits. So essentially, like, she's been shamed. Now Juliet is left with the nurse, and the nurse is going to try to console her a bit with what's going on. And she's telling him, like, you've got these two choices now. You've got Lord Paris that you can marry. He's going to take care of you. But you also have Romeo who's going to be waiting for you in Mantua. You need to decide between both, but the choice is yours.
Oh, nurse, how shall this evil be prevented? My husband is alive. How can I wed? And what sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing that he dares never come back to challenge you. Then, since the case so stands as now it does, I think it best you married with the Count. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so far an eye as Paris has. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excel you for your first, or if it did not, your first is dead, or 'twere as good we were as living here, and you're not no use of him.
This is his counsel of the heart?
And of my soul too, else God curse them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelously. Go in, and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence's cell, to make confession, and to be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Nurse exits.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend, is it more a sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue, which she hath praised him with above compare, so many thousand times? Go, counselor, I never will confide in thee again. I'll go to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fails, I have the power to die.
Juliet exits. So that's the end of Act 3. She chooses to go and actually talk to Friar Lawrence and probably go and join Romeo. So she decides to, like, I don't care about my dad. I don't care about this Lord Paris. Too bad. Do you agree with Juliet's decision? What would you have chosen yourself?
I would have gone with Romeo.
Yeah.
As well?
She was already married to him, so it's not really like
Why
she
would
was
have gone to
married
him?
to the guy.
True.
I'd much rather run away from my seemingly rude family to be with someone I actually love than with a stranger.
Like her dad isn't treating her like right in the situation.
Mhm.
Like that isn't a reason to like disown your child.
It's like the worst reason to disown a child because she doesn't want to marry someone that he likes. It's crazy.
Like if that would have happened now,
That
that
would not have
would
played well.
not be good.
Don't forget that in those times, marriage was used, especially for the rich families, marriage was used for political and influential reasons. So
Yeah,
like
and
you would take two families and you would marry them to gain more power. So that was the case for the rich, more higher political families in this case.
In my theater class, they said that marriage was almost never for love in those times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love is the concept of love that we have now is fairly new. Like it's mainstream now. Like Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare presented this, and the idea of love is like, this is stupid. It's so romantic, but at the same time, it's like a very foreign concept. So it's new. And the whole concept of like infatuated love, romantic love, is something that is fairly new in society, in history. Cool? We live in different times.